Ian! That is where you've always been wrong about me, Lex. I'm as human as anyone.
Was Superman a woke film?
Come on.
What the hell does it even mean to be woke?
Don't know.
I just, look, the whole thing about woke, for a moment in time there after the pandemic, George Floyd, woke was like kind of a good thing. I think it meant that you were just aware that others had problems that maybe you didn't know about.
Right.
But then woke became this super insult, and if you were woke, you were kind of a pussy, I guess. Is that right? I just don't know.
I think so.
It's weird.
Yeah. What's funny is it was weird to James Gunn. He was very surprised that people had an issue with this. I think a lot of people on the right had an issue that this was an immigrant story, and I think James Gunn's response to that was, he's an immigrant. He just is. It's inherent. The conversation of wokeness, Josh, is so funny to me because it just means someone trying to be aware. I don't understand any sort of problem that people can have with that. And I get that on each side of the aisle, people take whatever to the extreme. You know, I don't think that everybody who's a Republican is a neo-Nazi, like some people on the left would have you believe. And I don't think that most Republicans think that everybody on the left is in Antifa. We take things to the extremes. It might be that most Republicans don't have any problem with wokeness. I don't know. But man, you certainly see it on the news. You certainly see how this anti-wokeness is prevalent everywhere, you know, on Fox News and all these places. I just don't get it.
Here's the thing with this movie. Superman is inherently a woke character.
Humanity has a lot to teach us.
The older Superman, 80s and before, believed in truth, justice, and the American way. You can quibble about what the American way really means, but Superman was always about the underdog. Superman was always about crossing boundaries. Superman was always about sticking up for the little guy.
Right.
I guess those are all woke concepts nowadays, but that's Superman. This version of Superman is a throwback to those pre-9/11 Supermen.
This is the part where I take issue. I don't like hypocrisy. I've said it many times on this channel.
I know you don't.
Do not like hypocrisy. Like, if you hated on Snow White for being so different, then you can't be mad at Superman for being how he always was.
The outlier of the Superman was the Henry Cavill. Henry Cavill was not a woke Superman. I don't think. Henry Cavill was a dark take on the Superman. If you think back to our Monday episode when I talked about the fact that Superman has to react to threats because a proactive Superman ultimately becomes a tyrant, that's kind of what you get with the Cavill Superman. And in fact, in one of the alternate tellings in the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, you see in a post-credit sequence what a tyrannical Superman could be. The Cavill Superman is one of the only times in the entire portrayal of the Superman character in which he kills someone. And he chooses to kill General Zod in the Man of Steel movie because he's just too dangerous. And it's that kind of not believing everybody can be redeemed that leads the Superman, the godlike character, down this dark path. My point is that the Superman character really does believe in the absolute equality and equity of human life. That's the character that we got back to.
Have you ever heard the term Byronic?
I haven't. Tell me more.
A Byronic hero describes the type of literary character first appearing in the work of Lord Byron. So that's where we get the Byronic.
Oh, okay.
But it's basically the anti-hero. And it's so funny that you say like a post 9/11 Superman, because I think that like in the last 20 years, we've had a lot of like Byronic heroes that are very jaded and more than flawed. That was that Superman character, he was a little more than flawed. He was almost Byronic. And I do like the fact that they're getting back to some core principles and values. I think it is the time for optimism, and I think it is the time for ideals. You know, we have to get back to things that we believe in and can get excited about. Not having some Byronic characters is great. The Superman being one of those, I thought was a treat. I am kind of done with the anti-hero for a while.
I agree. We need just this positivity. And look, everyone can be layered, everyone can be deep and things like that. That depth doesn't always have to be some sinister side.
Yeah, and he still was deep.
As the great pop singer Alanis Morissette said in her song, "Isn't it Byronic?"
Oh, God. Isn't it Byronic? I did grow a little tired, Josh, of just watching Superman essentially just like save people on the sidelines.
Get out of here!
Can you just beat the bad guy?
I've been trying to figure out a way to get it out of here alive. Get it someplace where we can study it.
Oh, come on, man.
somebody's probably going to die in all of these things. I remember there was a scene where like his tail sweeps a bunch of cars. It was like 3 people just died. But no one dies on Superman's watch. It's like, dude, just take down the bad guy and stop worrying about all this collateral damage.
Is that what people have a problem with? He's too woke about that. Why not just let a few people die? But that's Superman. He didn't even.
I don't
let
think
the
that that's
squirrel die.
people's issue. I think that
no,
people's
I know,
issue
but
was it being an immigrant story.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.